dad's like?
Yeah. What?
Tell us
dad's
everything.
like?
You
What's
got a
your
long
dad
list
like?
of things to tell. I just want to know. Well, my dad,
Yeah.
Bruce Brown. He's 70.
Bruce Brown?
Bruce Brown.
That's sick. It's
He's 70
alliteration.
and he's still writing about tech.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me this. He's a prolific tech writer at his
Yeah.
Awesome.
elderly age. Anyway, Halo 5 Guardians has a new update on both consoles and PC, but most notably on PC because Forge came to the platform with Windows 10, as well as custom games. So you can essentially play like LAN games on PC now, which is the first for the series.
Sure. I mean, online, right?
Sure,
But,
online.
yeah, Mary and I did a stream last week. The day before the release, we got like an early copy, which was nice. But that game is cool, man. Like, I'm excited to see where it goes. I mean, it's Halo 5 multiplayer free on PC. That's like kind of wild in itself. The only problems being that you're not getting experience, you're not raising your level at all, but you're still enjoying the game in every aspect. As far as like the actually to separate from you can't do Warzone or any of the other a few other types of game modes. I believe you can just do like basic team battles.
4v4, right? Or max?
No, 8 on 8.
Okay,
Is
8
the max.
versus 8. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So 16 players. But what's exciting for me is when I got to have hands-on with it and actually mess around with the Forge stuff. Because again, like I don't know, you guys have seen it in like on Reddit and all these places of these GIFs of these player-made Forge maps, and they're freaking incredible. The amount of time people are putting in. They've revamped their whole Forge system to make it easier. You're adding in what's called prefabs, which you can share. Prefabs being like, I make a base myself. I can just put it up. And it's like the speed and the intuitive nature of it is so freaking quick. We played probably like, I don't know, 24 maps in the span of the stream that were all player made. And you could make your own. So I could take a prefab and bring it down so I don't have to spend the hours on end making a base. It's really great. And I'm actually really excited to see how well it does because I would imagine it would do well. Mouse and keyboard control, really great for, making maps and everything. Yeah, and then here's the other thing is that Jean-Luc here actually showed me there's like a subreddit for Destiny, because one of the problems being, hey, say I do not have Halo 5 on Xbox, I don't have any Xbox Live friends. That's a problem. How am I going to play multiplayer? I got to find people in order to join a fire team. What's cool is that despite them making a update soon, they said they're going to make a custom matchmaking ability, which is huge. You can still right now go into a subreddit and just find a fire team. There are tons and tons of people who are like, hey, you want to play? Let's friend up. Just join this. And Jean-Luc was saying he was playing like all weekend long, playing these awesome Forge maps.
Well, that's like what Titanfall 2 is implementing with networks, right? To extend the longevity the lifespan of a multiplayer shooter, which drops considerably, which this is what, the 9th update or 8th for Halo 5?
The
9th, right?
Yeah.
Anvil's Legacy?
Yeah.
And obviously, like, a big point of the update is Halo 5 like worth returning to now, whether on consoles, especially obviously on PC. It's the first chance you'll have on PC, but I don't know. Have their updates been doing a good job of drawing you back in? I know you're playing periodically, and you and I do stream every once in a while.
Yeah, I definitely put in a couple hours whenever I can for each update. It's a back and forth thing. I definitely enjoy it. I know what to say. I think it's mostly. I think I just need friends to play with, maybe to.
I'll be your friend.
I don't have any friends. Yeah. But they add new maps, they add new weapons, so it's fun to try out those. Like they added a new ship called the Wasp that's really fun to use.
Is it just a rich white person you fly around on?
Well, at the end of the day, yeah. I mean, what? Oh, let me rephrase.
No, like in the sense of the acronym WASP.
Oh,
That's what you said, a rich white guy.
I thought you were insinuating like microtransactions.
Oh,
Like
shit, I should just roll with that
cards,
segue. Yeah, go for
with
it.
cards and stuff that you can buy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man, there's something about those cards that is just so unappealing to me. Like every time I finish a match, it's like, open this pack, boom, confetti. Look at all this, and then you get into the menu. I got to open them, and then I'm sick and tired of constantly seeing numbers of like how much it takes, and then money, and the money thing is just killing me with microtransactions in my face, and I just find that frustrating. I don't know, but there's but in general, it's a fun ass game, and I'm more inclined. The updates are great, and I actually think they do a great job of delivering those. People who are huge Halo fans have respected that. However, I'm more into this Forge idea. I think this is going to take off. They're really setting a nice groundwork for some community involvement, and there's already been one. Now it's ever so going to grow. Like, it's exciting to me. I mean, you've seen the maps. Just to touch on the maps that like you've seen, right? Like, I'm trying to think. There's one. John Luke was.
I mean,
that people have made.
We went to 343 recently to do kind of a feature on this and coming to Windows 10, and they weren't allowed to promote Forge with other properties content, but they showed us like someone had made an Endor map, like tree houses kind of in the walkways. The intro, they did a whole intro cinematic
so
with R2D2, and they showed Vader burning. They put a Spartan, like a black Spartan, on his back, and
had flames. So it was really great. So
the funeral pyre,
yeah. So as you know, in Return of the Jedi, there's like that.
Wait, what's that?
Don't don't do this. It's Vader, and he's like, it's Luke looking over Vader, and his his helmet's charred up, like this. Someone like recreated that whole thing, and it's hilarious. Like, that's your intro to like the match.
Well, yeah, you can control the cameras and whatnot for people unfamiliar with Forge.
Yeah, so he put mist in. It's Endor trees with platforms, and you're flying around.
I love that it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
well, it's hilarious that he customized
like
his
Halo
own
assets.
Sure.
Well, he's got like R2D2 one shot, and then it's just like Vader dying. You know what's up. Star Wars, right?
And then a bunch of Spartans leaping between tree houses and kind of falling off a lot.
Yeah.
But there was a giant foosball table, which they said, like a big point with the mouse and keyboard controls now is you have much more fine-tuned control over the level editor itself. You can actually change the mathematics of like man cannon, so you can do a 45-degree angle as opposed to like a 35, for example. But the foosball table, I don't understand how it worked, but that was also made in like 4 hours by someone on their Halo 5 QA team that had never worked with Forge before. So that's why it was appealing to me. I haven't gotten the chance to play it much. I know you did a stream last week, I believe.
And the game wasn't even released yet. There was all this stuff already available. I just think it's just going to really exponentially grow. And the other thing, too, is there are these devoted fans, and just imagining 16 people just like frantically working and building these elaborate maps.
Yeah.
And now with the ability to just drop in, some guy made a Star Destroyer, just drop that in. Like, or pod racing, right? Some guy's like, hey, I have all the pod racers that are hooked up to Ghosts. They don't drive that well. But make your own map. And, recreate, episode 1 pod racing from 64.
Now, this is Halo 5.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I am excited for that stuff.
One thing I do want to touch on that the chat has kind of been saying jokingly, but it might be worth talking about. So Microsoft's making a big push for Windows 10. I think Gears of War Ultimate Edition was the first game. And then, from here on out, if I'm not mistaken, every Xbox One game or every Windows 10 game you buy you'll have it for free on the other platform. Or maybe it's Xbox One to PC to Windows 10.
So
be able to play it on
I think
Windows 10.
Recore is the very first game where it's cross-buy.
Okay.
So where you buy it, you get it definitely for both platforms. I think for Gears, you had to like buy it on both, but you could cross-save or something like that.
Yeah, and from what I remember, because that was when we did the re-review of the game. But if I'm not you were saying last week that the Halo 5, the update on PC is kind of tedious, and people are wondering if this is just
I mean,
a half-hearted attempt to bring people to Windows 10 even more.
It's Windows 10. Unfortunately, it's got some bad rep,
which we've all seen pop up on our PC at one point.
But what was surprising to me was you had to opt for the Anniversary Edition update, which does not do anything significantly worse or anything bad to your operating system, but it still required my home computer is not all that great, especially with internet speed. But it took me like 2 hours to download this Anniversary update.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure, I don't know. I think your computer can be opt in to already, you may already have the Anniversary update is what I found out later. It just depends on whether you have that unlocked in your update and settings on your PC. I don't know.
Either way, it's bigger than just like a firmware patch for a driver patch for your graphics card. I mean, it's a whole update for an OS just to get this game to play.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's not that great. I mean, I'm not saying that's just brush past that idea, but it's still worth saying that I don't know, they're making a cool push for Halo Forge, namely. But yeah, it's your choice if you want to do that update or not. I mean, I don't have any problems with it.
Yeah. Hopefully, Halo 5 will have a little more blood in its veins until we get to Halo Wars 2 for those of us interested in it, and then the eventual Halo 6, which they've said will be on PC right from launch, I believe. So that'll be a first for them. But anyway, it's Halo 5 Guardians Forge mode on PC and Windows 10 now. If you plan on playing it, if you plan on checking out Forge, if you're a big fan of Forge on consoles and want to try it on PC, leave your thoughts in the comments below.